Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the London Lowdown, branch of the weekly and kick-off podcast.
It's the London Lowdown.
Preview the Chelsea and Manchester United game at the weekend and all things about the clubs. I'm joined today by Adam, who is from Adam Matic TV and Mad Red United. I'm sure a lot of you know Adam well and know his content, that you would have seen it over social media. Adam, how are you tonight?
Yeah, mate, good. Weekend's here, massive weekend ahead. Loads of big games this weekend. So, yeah, looking forward to it, mate. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it should be very, very good weekend. Like you said, a lot of good games and that on. I'd like to, before we went to the game, I'd like to just touch on, because obviously this is the London Lowdown part of the show. A lot of people would have seen you on a lot of channels over YouTube and that, but just for maybe some newer viewers, I'd like to touch on your channel and that on YouTube. So you have Adam Matic TV there, and you're also on Mad Red United. Do you want to give some of the viewers a kind of background to your work?
Yeah, so the Adam Matic TV now has started in place of Mad Red United. I've just changed the channel up and changed the name to Adam Matic TV. I wanted to make it a little bit more personal. Obviously, it was difficult with what I originally started the channel out to do, which was full-on match day experiences, because that's what I am. I'm a home and away fan. And then lockdown hit, and it just went to this streaming world that everyone is doing right now. So knowing that we've actually got normality, dare I say it, round the corner, and possibly match days coming back again, I've just stripped my channel back a little bit and just made it all about just trying to get more opinions of as many fans as possible. I have calling shows and just mixing it up. It was all, like I said, started from match days, and that's what I want to get it back to its originality. But I'm still going to be doing, obviously, the live shows and getting on as many opinions as possible. But I'm hoping to try and take that to the stadium, outside the ground, physically, fans coming up and talking on camera, and then we can do live streams literally as we're walking out of the ground, in the cars, road trips, everything like that, home and away. It's just a full match day, which we're all craving at the moment, and that's what I can't wait to get back to. But yeah, it is what it is. Times are hard, and you just got to do what you've got to do. But at least we've got football, mate.
Yeah, 100%. It gets a lot of people through all these lockdowns and that.
Oh yeah, definitely
helping a lot of people. Yeah. No, it's great that you have such a variety on your channel and everything. Like, I'm sure it has something for all the viewers. And like you said, to change it all up, and you have, like, when we get back to getting into the stadium, hopefully soon, like, you'll have all the other stuff back. Yeah, exactly. So just kind of moving on towards the game and stuff at the weekend. Obviously today United had news with the draw for the Europa League, the next round. How are you feeling? Obviously, like, Milan are nothing to fear, I don't think, but it's probably the toughest draw you could have gotten, maybe outside of the English teams.
Yeah, I think I was doing a watch along for the Sociedad game and was talking about the draw on there, and I think I preempted it. I said it'd probably be Milan, who look half decent. Zlatan coming back. It's all the build up, obviously, and in terms of who else was there apart from the English teams, I would have liked Rangers, to be honest. But I think that would have been a great game. But AC Milan, they're not the better. They are getting they are on sort of like a rebuild and coming back to some form of their original sort of status. But I think they've just been beaten twice in a row by Inter Milan. They scraped through the last round on away goals in the Europa League. So they're not pulling up trees and just getting by. But still, Zlatan coming back with our defence is enough to give any United fan fears in this game, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah. Like you said, like, he's a big guy as well, Zlatan. Just you're wondering who will be playing centre back for United against them. Will he throw in Bailey?
Don't even want to talk about it, mate. Don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I actually touched on that with the guys today about Milan. Kind of like, they're not the finished article at all. Like, kind of like you said, there's a bit of a comeback there, a bit of a revival, but like, there's still some way. Like, I think the position they're in right now in the Serie A is kind of flattering them, and if they got top four, I think it'd be a very good achievement for them. They have good players there, but yeah, it's just kind of, I just don't know if they have the squad. Good 11, but I just don't know if they have the squad. And like,
that's it. That's what you need for the Europa League, mate, innit? As well, it's the squad depth, innit? That's what gets you through this competition.
Yeah, And both clubs are kind of in a similar position in the fact that like second in the league, and you're wondering what will they focus on? Will Milan still be in that title race in Italy come the time of the two legs? Will they be kind of focusing on league football more, or will they be going for the Europa League? So like a lot of things can change between now and the fixtures. So
tough, mate. Thursday, Sunday football. We've seen what it did to us when we came back from lockdown last season. We had 10 games to go in the league, but we were burnt out towards the end.
Yeah.
The Europa League hanging around at the end of the season. Yeah, you may have thought, oh, that's all right, we can get through it. But when we started to play in it, we looked like we were finished. We really did. And it's a balancing act, which is really hard because I was just talking on my channel a minute ago then, and the running and current games that both United and Chelsea have got is pivotal, and it's huge runnings right now. I mean, we've got a tough run. You guys, I know you've got Liverpool coming up. I know you've got Atletico Madrid, second leg coming up as well. So it's hard to balance it, mate. Where do you go with it? I mean, there'll be a stage of the season. It's like Mourinho now at Spurs. He's pretty much said, look, Europa League, or that's it.
Yeah.
There's a stage, isn't there, where you go, right, okay, can we get into that top four, or is it time to just say, right, let's put our eggs in the European basket?
Yeah, definitely. And like last night now, I know it was disappointing for Leicester to get knocked out, but it might suit them in the run and not having Thursday night
Exactly,
football,
mate. I said the same thing, mate. Exactly, good point.
Yeah, I was disappointed as a Chelsea fan with that. Wanted them to keep going in the competition. So.
I know how you feel about that one.
Yeah, just going to the live comments actually before we kind of get into the game. Shane was asking which was the better Premier League rivalry. Do you think Chelsea versus United or the United and Arsenal? Obviously in the days before Chelsea and United got the rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can ever beat the Vieira and Keane rivalry from early Premier League years. That's going to be hard. I mean, Wenger, Ferguson, Keane. Yeah, we all know the tunnel spat. Keane, Highbury, in that small little tunnel area. I remember them games, mate. They had everything about them. Even when they were poor and there wasn't much goal action, the intensity in them games was just, it was scary. Away. It was such a hard game to play in, probably for the players, but it was that, and then it just disappeared. It absolutely just fell away. Arsenal really to blame for that and the way that club's been run, but then Mourinho came in and it started to sway towards United and Chelsea in terms of rivalry. It was us at the top all the time, challenging. We were the ones to break the Mourinho the first time around. And you could say that was just as big at the time, but I think the Arsenal one went on for a bit longer. I think that's probably why that one is probably bigger.
Yeah, I just think they had a lot of elements, like you said, Wenger, Ferguson, and Vieira and Keane and stuff. But if you'd ask kind of me in like 20 years' time, I think I'd remember the Arsenal United ones more purely just because of those two battles between the managers and Vieira and Keane. Like it just added so much to it. But I agree. I think the Chelsea or the United and Arsenal rivalry is slightly bigger than the Chelsea United one, but that was just touching on that comment from Shane there. But we'll go on to just the midweek results, and it's not even kind of, when I'm looking at it, it's not even the results, but how the teams kind of lined up. And like obviously, I was kind of surprised with United yesterday with Bruno on that plane. I know he had the few injuries to Mata and stuff, but I thought winning the first leg 4-0, you might have had an opportunity to rest some players ahead of Sunday, but like, how did you feel about? Yeah, how did you feel about the lineup? Or are you kind of happy they got, like, Bruno got a half and Rashford got a half? Kind of, do you think they'll be fresh going into Sunday?
Need it, mate. We didn't need it. I mean, I can understand to a certain extent the start of the game, get through the first half, make sure we don't give them a chance, and we'd be able to see second half out. But we didn't need to bring Rashford on. I thought that was a absolutely bizarre substitution. And all in all, the midfield is that depleted at the moment. You probably expect Fred and Matic to play because everyone else is injured. Defensively, Maguire rested for the first time in God knows how long. I think we're all happy about that. Henderson in goal, who I think should be starting at the moment. Shaw rested, but Wan-Bissaka, I don't know why Brandon Williams didn't play. So, you could say it was a bit, I understand in a way if he was playing them for a half, but and again, a lot of them players that play the full game are probably going to be playing in the game at weekend as well, mate. So mental tiredness. I know Chelsea played 2 days before. I think you should have the better standing in terms of physical fitness than us. But it's just one of them, innit? I mean, momentum in this game and the adrenaline of Chelsea against United should really take over in this rather than worrying about actual fatigue and fitness. Because, like you said, it is a big game and there's added pressure on this game now because of where both teams are.
Yeah, exactly. Just like when you're touching on like the adrenaline and the bigger games there, it's actually something you see a lot. It's a big talking point before games with like United having a strong lineup out, but a lot of the time it doesn't have too much of an effect on it. Like you said, like I'm watching these games thinking one of the teams will be tired and they just show up and there's not as much fatigue there as you think. So
that's it, mate. It works like that, mate. You talked then, the rivalry, the big games. The players are already thinking about the game 2 weeks before. They know what's coming, and it's weird, isn't it? Because you'd expect fatigue to be there, but then the mental side of it really kicks in, and adrenaline carries you through these big battles. So I fully expect it to be like that. I can't see there being many chances with the way both teams are playing, but then again, we've said that before, and it's completely spun 180 on us, and it's gone the opposite way, and it's been a crazy game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that first game between us this year, the 0-0 was one of the worst games I think I've seen this year. There wasn't too much
shocking, mate.
Like we had a lot of the ball, but we didn't create much really. You had the better chances, and I felt we had a lot of the ball, but it was a very poor game. Like you said, the way Chelsea are playing, even Wednesday night now, like we had, like obviously when you're going to play Atletico, you're going to know the story. So you have a lot of possession, but they're going to be very hard to break down. And I know a lot of people are saying that they were terrible on Wednesday, which they actually were. But even saying that, I think even just with the way Atletico played, they're so hard to break down and get that goal against. That's why I was so happy with the result. Like a 1-0 win to take home is really good. But like we're saying with the first game, there wasn't many chances created between Chelsea and United, but against Atletico, and even a few games beforehand since Tuchel's come in, we played really well, but we just haven't created much. So I wonder, will that kind of be a team going into the United game on Sunday? Will both teams create much in the game? Could we see another 0-0 or?
Oh, easily, mate. We could easily be seeing another stink out, couldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, the way Tuchel's set up, he's made Chelsea look more robust, where they're not creating as much. The football's probably not as nice to watch or entertaining, but it's effective. And why would he change? And if Tuchel actually knows, and he does know, Ole, I think what the 2-2 at the moment, aren't they? We've knocked them out of Europe. He knocked us out of Europe. 2 wins apiece. He knows what we're all about, and the way he's playing at the moment, I think he's our worst nightmare and Ole's worst nightmare. So if he's got anything about him, which he does obviously look like he has, he looks like a very clever manager, to be honest, because he has changed his style since coming from PSG. So he's adapted to the climate. He's adapted to the players that he's got. And I found it interesting how he's actually just set it up, because I do feel like the players that are playing for Chelsea now are not the ones who are going to be next season. But it looks like get top 4 by hook or by crook. What players can get me there, and then I'll deal with it in the summer. So I think it's just going to be one of them stalemate sort of games, mate. Few chances, and I think the forward line that can take their chance, or that 1 or 2 chance that come around, they're the ones that are going to win it, mate. It's going to be one of them games, mate. We have to sit and bear, but hopefully, well, I'd say hopefully for me, but not for you. But I just don't see it being entertaining, mate. But I've been surprised before, definitely with United.
Yeah, definitely surprised before. Yeah, just like I kind of have the same opinion you. I just think it could be a fairly boring game, but like you said, anything could happen. We've often predicted stalemates. We've often predicted games with a lot of goals, and we'll just get it wrong. You just don't know, especially with the way football is now, with like no fans in the stadium, or you just don't know what's going to happen really. Everyone's beating everyone, so we'll see how it pans out. But like you said, I think with Ole, kind of like the teams that open up against United and go at them get punished. You know how dangerous United are on the counter, and how direct they can be with the ball. I think with Tuchel, like the way he's setting us up, it's kind of like you said, we're more organised there. So maybe it might not suit Ole and like the way United play. Like if we sit back a small bit as well and try and keep the ball, but yeah, that could easily lead to a stalemate. I think it would be very very close.
Yeah, that's it. Like he says there, mate, individual brilliance, because both teams have got players. I mean, I was just talking then about Mason Mount for Chelsea, Bruno for United. You know what I mean? It could come down to it again, mate. One of them
Yeah,
where either a mistake or one of these players just stands up and does something brilliant. It's just one of them games. I think everyone realizes what type of game this is going to be. I don't think there's one other game in the league where you could have predicted how bad it was going to be or how entertaining it was going to be. But this game, we all know what's coming. It's weird.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I can actually. I think if Lindelof is there, I think you're going to see more of Chelsea crossing. I think if Giroud is on, I think there'll be more of a.
I would play Giroud if I was Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Especially if I know sometimes he might not be up to it. Like he can be inconsistent for us, but with how he played Wednesday night, he was even besides the goal, the whole of play, everything what he offers in the box and what he can bring other players into the game. He was exceptional again Wednesday night. So I think he's a definite starter for Sunday. Absolutely,
100%. I mean, if you go and look at the one time that Chelsea have won in the last 8 games against us in the semi-final, and how much Giroud bullied that same back line, it's a no-brainer, mate. It's a no-brainer if you're a Chelsea. I mean, Tuchel must know that we are struggling for strength and dealing with that type of striker.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, with the speed that you guys have got out wide as well, coming in with Giroud holding it up and being that link, that's something we haven't got. So I think that's where the game could be won, because you've got an out ball in Giroud, whereas we haven't. That's the difference, and it could come down to that simple. You know what, mate? Lump it long and just feed off him. It's a simple little tactic, but in games like this that we know are coming, that could make all the difference.
Yeah, no, it could 100%, 100%. Like when you're touching on there, actually, when around about some of the players like Bruno and Mount and that, like in United's favour, I think the one thing that could tip it is like the creativity of Bruno. I think Mount, like since Tuchel has come in, Mount has been fantastic. He's been very, very good, but he just lacks. Sometimes he can lack that final ball, and I think Bruno offers that. And I think Chelsea don't have a player that can like make the difference in the game like Bruno can. Like we used to have Hazard there for years, and he's gone now, and I think that's what we're kind of lacking. Like you said, I was touching on, we haven't created many chances since Tuchel came in. I'm loving Tuchel, but we haven't created many chances in the games that we played, and I think we're just missing that kind of Bruno type player. I'm not sure whether we have it there in the club and whether it's just kind of like confidence with the way Lampard went out and how we were playing, and if we're building on that, like a Ziyech or something, like I have been disappointed with him so far, but he can offer that killer ball as well. But like I think that's what we're lacking, and I think Bruno could make a difference on Sunday. Like obviously Bruno's a top player, but like he could be that difference maker.
Oh, 100%, mate. That's what we've been living off. That's what we've been living off a lot this season. I mean, I can't remember the last midfielder apart from Scholes who'd bagged 22 goals already in one season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's like the strikers a dying breed. And all your goals come from midfield, because I would say in terms of Chelsea's and United's teams, the forward line is probably the weakest part in terms of how they've played. Clientele, obviously, it looks good and it should be doing a lot better. But I think it's the midfield where both teams have actually thrived and won games this season. So it's that, mate. It could be that late run into the box, and that's where these stalemates are usually won. It's that late arrival into the box, what you don't expect, or that thunderbolt from outside the box. We just don't do it enough, to be honest. But Bruno's the one who always pushes the envelope, tries to go that extra yard, and you know it could easily be or go that way. But we just don't have enough players in form to sort of give me the confidence going into the game like someone else can actually do it, or someone will take it upon themselves to make that moment. So it is going to be one of that. And if Chelsea had anything about them, they would probably try and take Bruno out of the game and try and hit Giroud. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's what, like when we're going to like touch on the like lineups later on. Like I think Tuchel might throw in Kante rather than Jorginho there, like for the legs. Kante might try and pick up Bruno or something. I think along the lines of that, if he's thinking that way. But yeah, I think like you said, that could be a key to winning the game. If you can cut Bruno out the supply there, I know Rashford is very, very dangerous still, but if you can cut the supply from Bruno, it could make a big difference in the game.
Oh, that's it, mate. We've seen it before. We've seen teams put 3 men on Bruno and said, let someone else have the ball, because they know that someone else isn't as good as Bruno and won't be as dangerous as him.
Yeah, and especially with Pogba out, kind of the other two centre mids you might play like they could be very
That's
good.
That's a big question, mate, isn't it? That one.
Yeah.
I mean, Pogba's back training now, so we don't know how fit he's going to be. Yeah. So if he does come back, he could be key.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was out. Sorry, but like if he's playing, it could make a big difference, or even if he comes on during the game. But yeah, like I was going to touch on there, if Bruno was cut out of the game, like if Pogba was not in there, like who else is going to be playing them balls?
Yeah, like exactly.
Pogba is well capable of it if he is on, but if not, you just kind of wonder where they're going to come from.
That's it, mate. That's exactly the issue that we've got right now. That's it. Because if and you can usually tell when Bruno's not on it because the team's crap. So that's just everything now. How important that guy is to us. But he's hard to pick up because it does look like he's got like a free roll all over the pitch. You'll see him. He'll pick the ball up off the centre backs. He'll pick it up at right back, left back. He'll be the furthest man forward. He'll be in the 10, number 8. Mate, he plays in ridiculous amounts of positions in one game. This guy, you can't pick him up. No one's going to stick with him that much because he drags players out of position, and that's what you don't see off the ball. The work that he puts in. Yeah.
That's often watching United games with my dad. Now he's a Leeds fan, but like he's always watching because obviously a lot of people despise Bruno because of how good he is. And he winds rival fans up, but like he's always watching and like he's questioning like how Bruno is always getting the ball and there's no one there. But you can say it's his movement. He's picking up pockets and he's so good at doing that there's no one ever really near him. Like when he gets to the ball, like he's crazy good at it. Like.
Mate, exactly. That is exactly. He is that good. He's just been a breath of fresh air to us, and without him, I don't know. I really think we'd be down with the Arsenals and Spurses if we didn't have him in our team. That's where we would be.
Well down the table with the other two. Just like to touch on actually, there's an interesting, like you said, you touched on it there earlier with Ole and Tuchel. Like it's 2 apiece now at the moment. Between the two of them, 4 games they played. Ole is 2 wins, Tuchel is 2 wins. But what's kind of interesting is every one of those wins have come to the away side.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the Champions League. I wonder will that have a part to play on Sunday with the way the team is set up and that? We
are unbeaten. I think we've won the last 3 times we've been to Stamford Bridge. We've not lost away from home all season. Mm-hmm. So on paper, you look at it and go, United have to look at this and be probably more confident. Ollie's beaten Tuchel before away from home, and do you know what? I don't know if the football suits us better, but it's been weird because you'd expect it to go that way if there were fans in the stadium because they would then make the home team come out and play more. But it's weird how we've actually done it without fans and had such a good away run because I don't know if it's because there's no fans heckling and putting pressure on the players, but I'm still trying to figure out how we've gone on this amazing away run.
Yeah.
But it just shows you without fans how crazy it can be. And our home form is nowhere near good enough. But all of a sudden we'll score 6 against Leeds, 9 against Southampton, 3 or 4 in another game, and it's crazy, mate. It's a weird season, but I honestly could not call this game. I really couldn't.
Yeah, it's so it does kind of make me most nervous. I just don't know what way it's going to go. I'm not confident, or I'm not like nervous that we're an underdog or anything like that. I'd prefer to be an underdog going into the game like we were Wednesday against
less pressure.
Against Atletico, but it's just so evenly matched. Really, just don't know what way it's going to go. And I think it's going to be a very tight game. Greg in the comments thinks that Giroud is going to be playing through the centre for Chelsea. I think it's very, very possible. I think Tuchel will look to that. And Greg also touched on Chelsea. He thinks Chelsea losing James will affect the deliveries into the box for Giroud. Personally, I think James will be playing in the wing back role. I don't think Tuchel will risk Hudson-Odoi in a wing back role when you have Rashford kind of out on that side.
I agree on that one. Yeah.
James offers kind of that bit of defensive stability along with being able to bomb forward and offer those crosses into the box. So I think James will play in the game Sunday. So hopefully, if Shearer's in there, James can be delivering those balls into that we know he's capable of. Just to touch off the lineups then, like to touch on there with James, I think he's going to be starting. Do you think United are going to have any surprises in the lineup this Sunday or any?
I think I don't, except for players that we hope are coming back from injury. I think that's the only surprise we're going to get. A surprise would be if Eric Bailly and Henderson played, which I think is still a better combination, but they won't. It'll be Maguire, Lindelof and De Gea. Because Ollie plays it like that. I still can't figure it out why, but I think all United fans will give up trying to guess or second guess what Ollie's thought process is in terms of his team lineups. But in terms of surprises, I think the only surprise we might get is if one of the players comes back that's been missing from injury, trying to keep it close to his chest. But we're already seeing pictures of McTominay training, Pogba training, Donny van der Beek training. So I'm not sure about Cavani. I think Cavani's the only dead cert who probably won't play, which is a shame. But yeah, I think our midfield might be bolstered by some players coming back for the game, mate. So that's probably where the surprise might come from.
Yeah, that's actually kind of two surprises for me because I thought Pogba was out and I thought Cavani was coming back in. Just kind of seeing small bits over Twitter today, but if Cavani is not playing, I'd be fairly happy about that. Just it's just his movement and all the experience he has. He just offers that threat the whole time, and I don't like the teams playing against Cavani. Even in his PSG and Napoli days, he caused Chelsea a lot of problems in the Champions League when we played against him.
He's just his work rate and his movement, and I just feel like without Silva, because Silva's injured, isn't he? Chelsea.
Yeah, he's out.
Without Silva, I think Cavani would have a decent game against that Chelsea backline. I think he is. I think he would relish playing against that Chelsea back line. So is it Christensen and Rudiger?
And Azpilicueta, three as the three at the
back. I'd take Cavani over all of them, to be honest. I don't rate any of them, with no disrespect, but I think Silva has shown up your defence since he's been in. I think he's been a breath of fresh air, considering his age, but experience and football now. So we've seen it with Cavani, with us up front. But you guys have seen it with Silva at the back. It just shows you how far behind some defenders and some other positions of players really are when you get a player of that quality comes in. And we've seen it. I think you guys have seen it as well this year.
Yeah, definitely. And like one of the big problems I would have with Christensen coming up against Cavani is, like you said, Cavani, like the pressure he puts on players. I know he's very tough. Christensen can kind of be soft at times. I think he could pull out of a lot with Cavani. If Cavani's hassling him and putting him under pressure, he panics. Christensen can panic, and like you said, like you wouldn't be the biggest fan of the three centre back Chelsea have. Like Aspi has been a brilliant servant over the years, absolutely brilliant player, but like the right centre back role just suits him perfectly. He doesn't have to bomb forward. He's not capable of really going forward. I don't think he's not great, but playing there kind of suits him. He can just kind of man mark players or kind of come out with the ball at the back line. But earlier on, you said the team that we have this year, a lot of those players won't be in the team come next year. I think he's just like playing the three at the back kind of like shows that Tuchel doesn't really trust their defence to play two men at the back. Yeah. So I think just the end of the year to get us into the top four, he's playing that three, and kind of Christensen has been very good the last 2 or 3 games, but I think he's kind of protected in that back three where he's kind of the sweeper, gets the ball and like plays like David Luiz played there for us before, and we all know how erratic he can be, and he stood out when he played there under Conte. So like that says a lot. He's like Christensen's kind of protected in there, but yeah, I'm kind of happy Cavani's not there because I think he would fare fairly well against the Christensen.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree.
Will Martial be in there instead, do you think, or?
That's the ultimate one at the moment. I think he's the biggest concern for all United fans at the moment. You've got the Martial FC crew who will have nothing bad said about him, but I mean, he's had 30 odd games this season. He's got 7 goals. He's just not good enough. He's just not been good enough this season. He's been completely off the boil. And if you're talking, like I said then, how Silva came in and shown up the level that some of your defenders are at, and Cavani's done it with a lot of our forwards. I mean, Rashford's accepted he isn't going to play in that central role now because Cavani, I think he's probably third in the pecking order. He's definitely behind Cavani. But Martial, I just don't think he's come to terms with it. And his confidence is at an all-time low. Lowest I've seen him while playing for United. And I don't see him this far into the season now. I mean, you could say you could have bad spells. I mean, we're well over halfway through the season. I mean, after this game, we've only got a dozen league games to go. So we're actually into the nitty-gritty now. He's already been non-existent for most of the season. And for me, I just feel like he is our weak link going forward. Even Greenwood, who hasn't been scoring goals, has been playing really well and doing a lot of good stuff. And I know as soon as he starts scoring again, he'll be fine. But Martial, we know he's peaked already and we know how good he is. So what's the problem? We just don't know. We just don't know. I think it's all mentally with Martial. And our game against Chelsea, scored a great goal against him with his head last time we played him, which was good. We need more of that because if he's number 9, that's the sort of run he's going to have to make. And I still feel he's got the better of your centre-backs, but I don't feel he's as strong. But he is good with his back to goal as well. He can hold the ball up well, probably better than everyone else in our forward line. So you never know. This could be the game that turns it around for him. I hope it is, but he's a major concern at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just kind of like when I seen him playing with Cavani coming in, like, is there a problem with like his attitude to kind of when he gets a challenge or?
Yeah, mate. I think that's how I see it. Like I said, the Martial FC crew will not. They'll say he's just been mistreated, but it happened when Zlatan came in. It happened when Lukaku came in. It's happened again now that Cavani's come in. The seasons in between where he's been really good, he's been number 1 and he's not had a challenger. He just wants a free ride. I don't think he's got it in him to fight for his place. And that's my biggest concern with him at the moment because I know what he's got and I know how good he is. But for some reason, he can't see it at the moment. Like I said, it is mental with him. We want him back and I want him back firing again. But this season has been a complete washout so far for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said there about him, and like I touched on there, just kind of the competition doesn't really suit him. I don't think he's up for it. Just when we're talking about, like, we're actually on about Martial there playing up front, Reese kind of touched on it in the comments. Could you see United matching Chelsea and going with a 3 at the back, 2 forwards with Rashford and Greenwood maybe? Or
I don't think he would because of what happened to him last time he tried it, because that was the one time we got beat by Chelsea over the last few years. It went epically wrong, mate. It was a catastrophe. It was like we just put players out on the pitch that have not done any training or formation work at all, and no one knew where they were playing. Bruno was the furthest forward. Centre-backs were all over the place, and Giroud tore us a new one. I don't see him matching it up anymore. I think the 3 at the back, 5, whatever you want to call it, is dead to Ollie now. I don't think he's ever going to risk it again. I don't think these players have got it in them to change a formation. I just don't think they're good enough to change formation. Yeah.
No, I had major doubts going into that game last year because obviously he's gotten 2 good results against us in the league and didn't think we'd beat you in the cup. But like you said there, it was just a catastrophe. I was kind of shocked seeing it, like, and just like I don't think he will go with the 3 at the back. I think he'll stick with what he's doing this season. So with the 4 at the back, and I think maybe Martial will be up top then if Cavani's not playing. But in terms of Chelsea, I think obviously they're going to stay 3 at the back too because it's not going to change that for the rest of the season at minimum. I think you'll see same 3 at the back and the same keeper from Atletico and the same forward line. I think you'll have Giroud, Werner, Mount, but I think the only changes we'll see, maybe, I think you might see Kante coming back in instead of either Kovacic or Jorginho. I think he'll be just tasked with playing in that double pivot and kind of picking up Bruno or cutting out the supply lane to Bruno. And I think that'll be his role. And I think you'll see Reece James coming in on the right wing back role. Callum Hudson-Odoi might drop to the bench, and James will offer that bit more protection to Chelsea when Rashford and that are bombing down that wing. And even Shaw, actually, because Shaw has been brilliant this year.
Yeah, he has. He's getting more assists. He was good defensively. His issue that a lot of United fans had was his end product when he was going forward. But this season he has massively improved. And if it weren't for Bruno, would probably be our player of the season. That's how good he's been this year.
Definitely. We actually touched on this in the group chat the other day. Decided Bruno who would be player of the year, and a lot of us stuck with Shaw. Rashford got a few shouts, but it was mostly Shaw got shouts in the chat.
Yeah.
So James Garner, actually, he's a youngster from United, and a youngster out in London. I think he's the scorer there. Yeah, Reece touched on it. So Garner,
that's funny he's done that against Watford, because first part of the season he was on loan at Watford.
Oh yeah.
January came back and went back out to Forest, and now he scored against a team that he wasn't really doing well for, but he's doing really good. He's doing really good for Forest at the moment. We've got a few really good young players out on loan right now. So Mengi and Ethan Laird are both doing well. I think Mengi's at Derby. Ethan Laird's at MK Dons doing well. So we have got what's her name? What's that? Then with Palistri's gone on loan as well, who we just brought in, and obviously everyone's raving about Amad Diallo at the moment. But deeper down into our youth system, mate, we've got a lot going forward. So it's good to see. It's really good to see. I mean, you guys, Chelsea know as well as United, I think probably right up there in terms of youth turnaround. Some of the players that you guys have brought through. I mean, Mount. You got Gilmore coming through there. Obviously, Tammy Abraham had an up and down but decent season last year. James, mate, the list goes on, and it just shows that some of these players, when they're given a chance, but especially if they go out on loan, like all of them Chelsea boys did, they come back stronger, and they're more prepared and ready to go in the Premier League. And you know what? I think that absolutely saved, and what Lampard did to get you into the top 4 last season with no signings, apart from obviously Pulisic, but it was good to see. It was like the old days, but whether that's going to continue with Abramovich's money, I don't know, mate. It's one of them. I'd rather be seeing the team that was out last year than the one you've got out this year, apart from Silva, that is.
Like they might spend a lot again this summer. I think like it might kind of be the end of Tammy maybe, but some of the players I don't think they'll be out of the team, like Mount and Reece James. I think Reece James is top class. He'll always be kind of in and around the team, but I think it could cost some of the players like Tammy the money been spent and stuff. But disappointing to see, because the year last year kind of like, I know top 4 usually wouldn't just be an aim for Chelsea. Like obviously you want to be title contenders every year, but with the circumstances and that where we played or where we finished, like with the younger players, kind of meant a lot more. Having players that came through kind of finishing there rather than it was a very good feeling to last year, and obviously didn't continue into this year. Very disappointed Lampard went, but just the best thing to do now is kick on and try and get top 4, and we'll just see what happens in the summer. That's
definitely, mate. Definitely. I know it's good. I reached there with a question. In terms of that, I don't see there being an influx all at once ever again. I don't think that'll happen. Only in circumstances like Chelsea's, funnily enough, last year when there was a transfer ban. I do feel like we have got some good individual players. As a team, I look at the youth systems at the moment, and I don't really look into who wins what. Chelsea have won bundles of trophies over the last few years, but they don't all make it through, mate. You know there's a level, and you have to be at that certain level to even be considered getting into the match day squad, let alone like what Mount's done. And we could say we've got McTominay. We could easily say, obviously, Rashford, Greenwood. I mean, our squad and our first team, when everyone's out, in a way, you can weirdly say Paul Pogba, but we stupidly let him go and brought him back. But he was of the generation. You can bring Henderson into that now. It is crazy, mate. It saved us an absolute fortune. The Glazers must be absolutely loving the fact that we've got so many good youth team players, mate.
Definitely, they're rubbing their hands at that. I think the Glazers absolutely buzzing. Obviously we're on about top 4 there, and like obviously Chelsea, United, I think will get top 4.
I think so.
I think they definitely will. And like we're saying, kind of top 4 is very big for Chelsea, and they're just trying to get over the line and get 4th spot this year and see what they can build on in the summer. Obviously, this game is going to have fairly big implications, I think, on top 4. If Chelsea can get a win, they're right back in there and they're looking good. But if if he beat us and open up the gap between us and Yi and Leicester being out of the Europa League, we could be in trouble because Liverpool can't be as bad as they are forever. I think they will get.
You've got Liverpool next week, haven't you, as well? So
yeah, I'm actually more confident of beating Liverpool than Yi on Sunday. I actually am. It's weird to say, just with because Henderson's out now as well, and they have a few injuries there. So hopefully,
you've got to feel sorry for him. Not much. Can't you? But no, that will never be. I will never feel sorry for Liverpool ever.
No, definitely not.
They've been getting away with injuries for absolute years, mate, and now they're having to deal with it like everyone else is. So
definitely, yeah. So hopefully take a scalp there on Thursday. So just in terms of the result on Sunday, then obviously big game, could go either way. How do you see it panning out?
I just see a draw, mate.
Yeah,
I think if anyone was to win it, I think United may pip it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm thinking the law of averages tells me that Chelsea are due a win over United.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the case of, can we trust Ollie against someone with Tuchel's brain and set up and formation? So we have to have a lot of players playing really well. I think if Bruno plays well, United will play well. Happy to see Shaw fully rested. Shaw fully rested gives us a boost.
Mm-hmm.
Maguire's obviously going to play. My biggest issue is if he plays Lindelof instead of Eric Bayer, because I just think it works. But it works so much better with Bayer. Everyone can see it, but Ole.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest bugbear I've got right now. And I still would play Henderson as well, because if you're going to put balls in the box to Giroud, then I need a goalkeeper who's going to come out and claim the ball. De Gea is not that man for me. And if that's the tactic, which I think might be, if Al Tuchel's looking at it, then I'd have Henderson and Bayer, who Bayer better in the air, Henderson better at collecting it. And I think that will then breed confidence into the team. Yeah, I really do. Definitely. But it all depends on the midfield, mate. If it's Matic and Fred, I think Chelsea have got a good chance.
Yeah, if it is, that's kind of. I'd be a lot more confident if the two lads were playing in midfield. If Boy and Henderson are in there, I wouldn't be as confident. Like you said, if we are going to go down that road, those two playing would nearly negate what we're trying to do if they play to their best. I'm in agreement with you. I think I can't see anything other than a draw. I think there will be goals in it, like I think a 1-1 draw. But like, funnily enough, like I think when Tuchel was at PSG, kind of against Ole, he had like Mbappe and Neymar. He had the players to kind of open up and play that game to Guachi, and it suited Ole in the way he set up. Like when he was so direct in the counter and that, he battered him. And I think not having the players of that quality, like attacking wise at Chelsea, I think might actually suit Tuchel. He might be a bit more cautious. I don't know. Yeah,
he's adapted well to that, I think.
Yeah, it's just the style he's been playing this year with Chelsea is not what he's been playing at PSG. And I still think it'll be a draw, but I think that will affect it a small. But I think that he won't be as open, or he won't be going at United as much. We're going to have that bit of cover there, and hopefully not leave, because Rashford is very dangerous. Hopefully not leave Rashford and Bruno through. But yeah, I'm in agreement. I can't see anything other than a draw Sunday.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Agreed. Fully agreed.
Yeah, definitely. No, we've covered all the topics tonight, just leading into the game. Hopefully, we're all going to get a good game at the weekend and a bit of entertainment. And like you said, there's a lot of good games on over the weekend. So another weekend of football getting us through lockdown and restrictions. So it's never. Yeah. I know we have a lot of complaints with these restrictions, and kind of it's affecting a lot of people. But at least we have the football to get us through.
That's it, mate. Without it, we'd be all under, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to touch on Keane and Jack. Clemson have a show tomorrow morning at 11 on the United show of the podcast. So everyone, make sure to tune into that. You can see my under my image there on the show if you want to give me a follow on Twitter to see some bad football opinions. I'm sure you all know Adam, but if you want to give a kind of shout out to your handler.
Yeah, catch me Adam Matic TV on YouTube, Adam Matic 31 on Instagram. Adam Matic on Twitter as well. Basically, if you put Adam Matic in, you probably see my ugly mug somewhere.
Yeah, you're definitely going to find it. Not hard to find if you type in the Adam Matic.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. No, I want to say thanks a million for coming on tonight, Adam. Really appreciate it.
Anytime, mate.
Really
no
good
problem at all, my man.
Thanks a million. Talk soon. Bye.
Cheers, mate.